Good morning, traders. Welcome to the market call for today, the 12th of January 2026 rather. We're excited to have you all here. My name is CJ, and I'm going to be taking you through the first part of today's market call. We're going to be looking at the dollar index, Euro USD, and GBP USD. Then we're also going to look at gold against the dollar. We're going to look at the yen basket, GBP JPY, and Euro JPY. These are the pairs we have in focus for today. Here on the market color, we run you through a top-down analysis looking at our favorite pairs or our most traded currency pairs, and then we'll show you the direction and possible trades we're going to be taking from them, okay? So this is what we have in view for today. Starting off with the dollar index. Now, the dollar index is starting off this morning with a pretty strong bearish move, which is not anticipated as per what we have looked at previously. But it's starting to tell us a story that we are going to be interested in. Now, if you look at the dollar index from the monthly time frame, you would from the daily time frame rather, you would see that the dollar index has made a stop somewhere around here, while attempting to break this high to the upside. Okay, so we saw how the dollar index was strongly rejected off this particular level, and then it started moving back to the downside. Of course, I'm still very bearish on the dollar index. I expect it to trade a little higher moving into the remaining part of the day, but for now, we are looking to see something a little more bullish to the upside afterwards. Now, we saw how the dollar index pierced through this level right here and traded above. Right now, we're expecting it to return back to this previous resistance and form a possible support, or just come to rest somewhere around here and resume back to the upside. We're bullish on the dollar index, and if you look at the weekly time frame, you get more clarity as to why. On the monthly time frame as well, if you look at the monthly, we have this level here that we anticipated the dollar index to return into this monthly fair value gap, and at least this 50% of this whole bearish move to the downside. So we're expecting a bullish move of the dollar index all the way here. On the weekly time frame, we're expecting price to follow that as well. We'll see price forming lower highs somewhere around here. It formed a lower high, so we're expecting that move continuously all the way to this level right here. So overall on the dollar index, we're expecting a bullish move all the way to this level, somewhere around 103.000 level. Okay, so this is what we're expecting to see on the dollar index. Now, for the day trades, we're looking to see what the daily time frame is going to do, even though it is looking as a very strong bullish time frame, a strong bearish move to the downside. Overall, we're expecting it to still resume back upwards afterwards. Okay, so this is what we're expecting to play out on the dollar index. All right, now for the day, as I also said on the daily time frame, I'm expecting price to come to rest somewhere around this support level and then resume back to the upside. So while price is heading to this level, let's anticipate a rejection from here back to the upside. Same thing on the hourly time frame. We can see that we're expecting price to just get to this level and then create a rejection back to the upside. This is what I'm looking out for on the dollar index. Now let's look at Euro USD so that we'll see how that's going to reflect here and how we can take advantage of it. Now for Euro USD, if you look at it in line with what the dollar has done, you see that it is quite different. Let me show you on a much more clearer chart. Now for Euro USD, we're still expecting Euro USD to trade all the way down here, just like the dollar index on the monthly and the weekly time frame. We expect it to get all the way to this level here, this 50%, and then this fair value gap on the monthly. On the weekly, we are expecting to see that formation of a sell structure that will send price all the way back to this level before it resumes to buy. On the daily, however, we're seeing similar thing to the dollar index, where price is powering above. And on the daily time frame, we want to see price trade all the way to this level right here. Just like we have on the dollar index, we want to see price trade all the way to somewhere around here. Okay, So this is the previous support level. Want to see what price is going to do here. We're expecting a rejection around here. So seeing that the Asian session has already pushed price all the way here, we're expecting that move. Not going to take too long, just 20 pips. We're expecting that move to send price back to the downside. So this is what we're expecting to play out on Euro USD. So for Euro USD, I'm expecting a buy all the way here and then a sell-off from there to the downside. In the 1 hour time frame as well, you can see how price is forming that push to this level all around here. And then when price finally gets here, we're expecting the sell-off to the downside, okay? Now let's also look at GBP USD. So for Euro USD in conclusion, around here, I'll be expecting a huge sell-off to the downside. And then for GBP USD, I'm expecting something similar, although for GBP USD, the chart is not as Euro USD is. So for GBP, we're expecting this move. All right, so for GBP, we are seeing that similar move, making that claim to the upside. However, for GBP USD, my point of interest is quite different from that of Euro USD. Here, I'm looking at same price, trade to this fair value gap around here. Okay, if you draw the Fibonacci retracement from here all the way here, you see that price has made that solid sell move to the downside. We should see at least a retracement into this 50% level, which coincides with where our fair value gap is. Okay, so we're expecting to see that move to this level, somewhere around 1.34809. So for GBP USD, I'm going to be looking for a buy setup that would engineer price to move all the way here. The reason why I'm looking for a buy on GBP USD and not on Euro is that for Euro, the gap is not that much. But for GBP USD, we should be able to claim around 40 to 50 pips when price finally gets a good entry, okay? So in this light, I'm looking for a buy on GBP USD. I want to see a retracement to the downside. Two places we want to see retracement to is these two 15-minute order blocks. One is this guy here, and the second is this other one here. If I see a retracement into either of these two levels, I'm going to be taking a GBP USD buy all the way to the upside, okay? So this is what I'm anticipating to play out today. So GBP USD buy from here would be something like this. Of course, I'm going to be expanding to around maybe 15 pips stop because the target is around 45 pips. So looking at 45, somewhere around here, the middle of this region here. So this is what I'm looking for on GBP USD, something like this on this guy or somewhere around here. So either of these two should give me a good trade to run into GBP USD for the day trading session for today. Okay, so this is my outlook on GBP USD. I hope it aligns with yours. If it doesn't, feel free to share a comment so that we can look at your own perspective together. All right, so this is what we have for now. So we're going to look at a few things before while we move into the analysis on gold. We're going to be looking at our forex calendar, and then we're also going to be looking at our forex news release so that we'll look out for the things that we are expecting to see as per the fundamental. Okay. All right, so for the fundamentals, we're expecting CPI this week on Tuesday. So just be cautious around that time, 2:30 p.m. GMT +1. We should see CPI coming out, and then core PPI on Wednesday. And those are like the main news releases we're expecting this week. So apart from that, nothing serious as per fundamentals. Then if you look at the news releases, nothing so difficult has been out, so nothing so market shaky has been out yet. So we're just watching out to see, because the reason why I'm bringing you guys to this level, to this point is that sometimes we hear of global tensions. We just want to be in tune with what's happening in the market. So if you're seeing global tensions, especially with what is going on between the US and Venezuela, we should be wary of what's happening with US oil. For those who trade US oil, we should be wary of what is going to be happening with gold. So these are like the two main assets that are going to be affected with this kind of news. So we are just watching out to see if there is anything noteworthy. I'm going to flag it, and then we would know how to apply it to our trading or how to avoid it when we are trading, okay? So the only thing close to that is we're seeing that Trump threatens to block Exxon from Venezuela after CEO calls country uninvestable. So we're seeing that oil war, and we want to see what its effect is going to be. Quickly, we're going to analyze gold shortly. So you see its you see the implication of all these things that have been happening over the weekend on gold. Okay, so you can see here that gold and silver has surged, stocks and USD slammed. You can see why the dollar is now selling heavily, right? As Trump's ongoing attacks on the Fed. So we're seeing that Trump is trying to get some level of influence on the Federal Reserve. Is not in line with what Powell's plan is. So he's looking for a way to replace Powell. But of course, Powell was not appointed by the president, so the president do not have powers to remove him. Okay, so they might have to come to a concession at the end of the day. But however, Powell is still standing his ground. So we might not see that move happening anytime soon. But as we're seeing that Trump is fighting multiple fights across international borders and even locally within the US, we're expecting that there's going to be some reaction in the market. And when that happens, we should just stay abreast to the news so that we know the pairs to avoid and the pairs to take advantage of. Okay, so just keep watching out for the news. We're going to quickly analyze gold so that we'll see Mr. Layton's perspective on all that has been happening in the market so far. Okay, so sit tight, and then in the next few seconds, we're going to have Mr. Layton continue the analysis with the outlook on gold.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to the Market Color brought to you by the Value Flow Trading Team. Thank you very much, CJ. That was a very big, insightful analysis. And since CJ already started the fundamental news, I think we are going to start with that because we have some things playing on currently on the precious metal, which is gold. Then after we finish the analysis of the precious metal, we then move to Japan to see what is going on the yen basket, and we use our outcome of our analysis there to interpret what we have on the other yen correlated pair. All right, so for the precious metal, you know, last week we've been saying that two things happen. First, we want to see how that price is going to take out the high of 2025, which was 4,550 spot 150 level, and then we want to see the pullback. You are going to agree with me, our analysis on Friday, to see where we expect price to, you know, pull back from this particular level. This, we expect it to sell a little bit more to the downside before we now see the continuation. But based on what is going on currently, as a result of the oil matters from US and Venezuela, then we are going to agree with me from the news CJ shared with us a few minutes ago. We are going to agree with me that the precious metal now happens to be where the real money is, and everywhere is just very bullish. And we know reason why that is happening, because people edge on the precious metal when it comes to anything, any kind of, you know, geopolitical tension, instability in economy, and the likes like that. People love to edge on the precious metal. That's why for the next few days or few weeks, we are going to see all the precious metal across board, from gold to silver to platinum, and anything SAU pair, SAU EUR, SAU GBP, SAU USD, pair anything, right? You are going to see it very bullish. And now that we already have the all-time high for last year being taken out a few hours ago at the opening of the market, then what exactly should we now look out for? Let's go in technically to discover where we are heading to for the precious metal. Now that we already have a breakout from the 4,500 zone, and we already see how that price already tested the 4,600 level, then where could be the next stop? Looking at what we are having right now, I'm of the opinion that our next stop is most likely going to be 5,000 level. which is going to be somewhere at the top here if you look at it from the weekly perspective. So that's going to be somewhere at the top here, and that is just the analysis for the year, the 5,000 level. And if for any reason we see the precious metal rally all the way to the 5,000 level, then we know there is a big matter on the table to address. All right. Now, but before that, let's try and see where can we join technically, and you are going to, take advantage of what you are seeing on the chart. Now, if you look at it from the daily perspective, after the breakout, where should we expect price to pull back into? So let's go to the lower time frame. From the 4-hour time frame, we expect price to start selling from this level. I mean, pull back, not a massive sell that much to this zone. You can see the gap that we have here, which also correlate with some shoulder level. If you go down to the 1-hour time frame, you're going to see that happen there. So I'm of the opinion that price will still pull back a little bit more. First, to the opening gap of today, you are going to see at the market open, there was a jump to the upside. So, and we expect that price should pull back and cover that jump, then we can easily begin to follow through all the way to the upside. And you can see this is it here. So I'm still of the opinion we are still going to see pull back to that region. And from the 1-hour perspective too, looking at the 1-hour perspective, there is still some level of some POI somewhere around this zone that if price get to this level and react to the upside and now give a proper market structure shift to the downside, then we expect it to tap into this shoulder level and we start buying. Because right now, what we are seeing is a bullish momentum to the upside. But immediately we see the market structure shift to the downside, then we're expecting price to come and test this 1-hour POI and we follow it to the upside. Let's lastly look at it from the 15-minute perspective. From the 15-minute perspective, this is the only shoulder that we have, looking at what we already marked even since last week Friday. You can see, and we are still of the opinion that price, if for any reason we see a market structure shift, meaning where is the real structure here, this low here, if we see price take out this low, then it's really telling us that we should expect it to tap into this zone. When price taps into this zone, we can start buying all the way to the upside. All right, so that is that for the precious metal for this week and for today being the 12th of January 2026. Now let's quickly move to Japan to see what do we have going on the yen basket, and you can use that to interpret the other yen correlated here. Now, if you look at the yen basket on our mini list, we have a proposed level where we expect to see some level of bearish move a bit, then resumption of the bullish move. Because, last week we established the fact that all this liquidity that the yen basket has built somewhere around this place, it is expected to come and grab everything. And that is what the yen basket is known for. When you build liquidity, then it's going to come back to grab it and pick a direction to move in. Now we've seen how that price already grabbed out the liquidity level, and I'm still of the opinion that we may still see a little bit move to the downside, then the resumption. But on the weekly perspective, we are going to agree with me that the low of 2024 is still very much preserved, and this is it here. Price has not really tapped into it. But on every other yen correlated pair, you already see the eye taken out, which means they are very bullish. So what should that tell us, and what does that imply? Let's quickly look at 4-hour time frame. Now on the 4-hour time frame, all I want to see is a market structure shift. When we see a market structure shift where this double top is being taken out, then we should follow through to the upside. Now, in a nutshell, what I'm trying to say is if we see price, rally all the way to take out this double top, then we want to see a pullback a little bit somewhere here, and we can begin to long the yen basket all the way to the upside. Now, let's use that in the interpretation of pairs like GBP JPY and Euro JPY. For GBP JPY, you are going to agree with me that on the daily perspective, we are still very much bullish. And you can see last week last year I has been taken out. Even last week high has been taken out early hours of today. We've seen a new all-time high for JPY. Now let's go to the lower time frame to look out for opportunity to join if you are going to either buy or sell. Now looking at what we have on the chart right now, we are still very much bullish, and all we should look out for is how to join the bullish move until we see a clear market structure shift that gives us a change in narrative, right? And this is what we are trying to see right now. This is the last low that was created sometime Friday evening at the close of the market. So until we see this level broken to the downside and price come for a retest of somewhere here, we are not considering any form of sell. Instead, we look more for opportunity to buy. And looking at your opportunity to buy from the 15-minute time frame, all I'm seeing is this is the only level where there is a buy opportunity somewhere here. You can see this is where there is a buy opportunity. And as a matter of fact, we mark out that since last week, Friday, that we are expecting price to come and take out all this liquidity. And when it taps into this level, we follow through to the upside. But right now, price has not given that. So two things would happen. When you look at the 15-minute time frame, or if you go a little bit slower to 5 minutes and you see any form of market structure shift, then if you see any form of market structure shift on the lower time frame, 5 minutes to be specific, then you may want to consider shorting all the way to this POI for a buy. Now, this is what I mean. Looking at what we have on the 5 minute time frame now, it seems more like price has really, broken this structure to the downside, yes, and we see a little bit of liquidity sweep somewhere here, good, right? But looking at it, because it's a lower time frame, there's a tendency that it is a low probability trade, right? And this is it here. This is what I mean. Meaning, if price pull back all the way and tap into this region, we may consider a little short of GBP, JPY somewhere around this zone. Meaning, you are expecting price to come all the way, tap into this zone and short. And that is a very good one with just 10 pips SL, and you follow through all the way to our POI. You can do your 1:3, 1:4, so, but the POI is still somewhere around this level. This is where we want to look for opportunity to buy GBP, JPY from. All right, so this is it for GBP, JPY. You will look out for that. And if price gets to this zone, this POI 212 spot 300 level, you will consider the short of GBP, JPY with just 10 pips. Yes, it's a low probability trade and it's just a low risk trade. There's nothing much to risk on it. It's just a 10 pips risk. All right. So you may give that a shot for the opening of the week. Now let's quickly get to Euro JPY to see what is going on Euro JPY and how we can take advantage of it. Great. So for Euro JPY on the weekly perspective too, we've seen how that price already creates the high. And even on the daily time frame of Euro JPY, we've not really seen price take out the high of last year compared to what it already did on GBP JPY. So two things would happen. And this is telling us that the trade on GBP JPY is a low probability trade, meaning it may not hold because of what we are seeing here, meaning we are still expecting Euro JPY to take out this high on the daily time frame. So let's go to the lower time frame for Euro JPY and see where and what we can take, advantage of. The buy that we saw on GBP JPY, the same thing is also showing up here gradually, and this is the POI for the buy, meaning we want to see price retrace all the way to this level. Now, you won't just wait until price come all the way to this level, but you go to your lower time frame to see if there's any form of market structure shift for a sell, and you follow through to that level we mark out for the buy, which is the zone. However, on the 15-minute time frame, I think 5 minutes rather, there is something showing up on Euro JPY that I saw somewhere here. So two things would happen for Euro JPY. There is probability that when we begin to see the sell of Euro JPY to this zone, we are going to see it react back to the upside. Somewhere here, we are going to see it react back to the upside from this particular zone. All right. So be watchful of it. If you see market structure shift for Euro JPY here, let's check it on 5 minutes. If it's the same thing we saw on GBP JPY. Now, yes, it's similar to what we saw on GBP JPY. As a matter of fact, for Euro JPY, it already got into the POI, which is this particular guy here. And remember, we said it is a low probability trade. So as price already gets here, then we will look out for opportunity to short. Remember, you don't just pull the trigger until you see your entry signature, which is a bearish engulfing. Right now, price is very bullish, right? As you can see the momentum. But when we see our bearish engulfing somewhere around this zone, then we can easily follow through to the downside. But knowing fully well that there is still a point of concern on the daily time frame, which is this high of last year, that can still be taken out just the way GBP already took out its own. So you may just want to wait and check out what we have around that point. But the moment you see that price takes out this level or create a market structure shift, as a matter of fact, right now, what I just saw happen with this current price action is price came to take out this liquidity, and then there's high probability to see it start shorting to the downside all the way to this level here. And this is what we are most likely going to see, happen somewhere here, right? And that is also more like risking a 10 pips for this trade too, right? And that is it. But looking at it until we see a clear indicator that we can easily follow through, which is a bearish engulfing for itself, then you may not want to jump into the trade. All right, so that is that. And remember, on the 15-minute time frame, when price gets to this zone, there is going to be a reaction around this zone for it to pull back a bit. So let's watch out for that. But our ultimate level to buy Euro JPY is still below this point here. All right, so that is that for Euro JPY moving forward. All right, so let's move. That is it. If there's any question, you can easily type in the chat box, and if there is none, this is going to be the end of the market call brought to you by the Value Flow Trading Team. Till we meet again 2 p.m. for the New York recap. Make sure you trade cautiously and use your proper risk management strategy. Once again, I'm Lekon sharing. Cheers and God bless.